Lyndy standing in front of Ty's picture, her tiny voice trembling as she whispers, "I wish I could see him." That one line from the Heartland Season 19 Episode 1 trailer stopped every fan in their tracks. For a moment, it wasn't just Amy's daughter speaking, it was every viewer who still misses Ty. The emotion in her eyes, the silence in the room, and Amy's reaction told a story much deeper than words ever could. It's the kind of moment that makes you feel like Ty was right there, and yet, heartbreakingly gone. Asterisk, the trailer for Heartland Season 19 Episode 1 doesn't open with drama or action. It opens with emotion. It gives us something raw, something that instantly pulls us back into the world of the Fleming-Borden family. The camera pans across the ranch. Sunlight washing over the familiar fences, the horses grazing peacefully, and then we see it. Lyndy standing quietly near the barn. Holding a small photograph of Ty, the background music fades, replaced by a soft sound of wind, almost like the ranch itself is listening. Lyndy looks up at Amy and softly says, "I wish I could see him." It's a line that pierces right through the heart of every Heartland fan. This isn't just a child missing her father. It's the soul of the show reaching out through her. The way Lyndy holds that picture isn't casual, her small hands almost trembling, her eyes searching Amy's face for answers. The lighting in this scene tells its own story, warm yet somber, golden but still lonely. And Amy's face, for that split second, gives away everything she's been holding inside for seasons. There's love, pain, and pride all mixed together. She doesn't speak immediately, because what could she possibly say? How do you explain loss to someone who barely got to know the person they're missing? As fans, we've watched Amy's journey from heartbreak to slow healing. But in this moment, we see that the wound is still there. Ty may be gone, but his absence still shapes the lives of everyone who loved him. Lyndy's words hit differently because they remind us of the little girl growing up without her dad, the same little girl whose spirit mirrors his. Her kindness, her curiosity, even the way she connects with horses, it's like Ty lives through her. And that's what makes this trailer moment so powerful. It's not just about missing Ty, it's about how much of him still exists in the people he loved most. Many fans noticed how the camera lingered on Amy after Lyndy spoke. She doesn't rush to comfort her daughter right away. She pauses. It's a quiet pause that says more than dialogue ever could. It's the pause of a woman who's remembering every moment she had with Ty, the way he looked at her, the life they built together, and the promise they made to raise their daughter, surrounded by love and horses. Amy's silence is heavy. It's filled with every word she wants to say but can't. She knows that telling. Lyndy's stories about Ty might help, but it might also open old wounds she's tried to close. This single line from Lyndy, "I wish I could see him," changes the tone of the entire trailer. It turns what could have been a simple new season teaser into an emotional journey about memory, healing, and legacy. It reminds us that even though Ty is gone, the show hasn't forgotten him. In fact, it's making sure we remember why he mattered. It's a bold storytelling choice, showing us that Heartland is still, at its core, about love that never fades. What makes this moment even more touching is the way the trailer transitions right after. There's a close-up of Lyndy placing the photo on the table beside a small carved horse, one that Ty had once made. The camera zooms out to show Amy watching her, tears forming but quickly wiped away. Then, the scene cuts to Jack outside, watching them from a distance, with that familiar look of understanding. He's been the quiet rock through every loss, and you can tell by his face that he knows exactly what Amy is feeling. He knows that Lyndy's words have reopened a door. It's been closed for a long time. It's in these silent moments that Heartland truly shines. The show doesn't need dramatic music or exaggerated reactions. It uses silence to speak volumes. The empty spaces between words, the glances, the soft sighs, that's where the real story lives. And in this trailer, those details are everywhere. You can see the way Amy's shoulders tense, the way Lyndy looks up hoping for reassurance, the way Jack quietly turns away to hide his own emotion. These small things build the emotional foundation of Episode 1, hinting that the story won't just move forward, it will look back one more time. But there's another layer to this scene that fans are starting to notice. It's not just about Lyndy missing Ty, it's about her wanting to understand him. Children often sense things adults don't explain. Maybe Lyndy feels Ty's absence not just as loss, but as curiosity. Who was her dad really? What made him special? Why does everyone still get quiet when they talk about him? These unspoken questions make her longing feel even deeper. She's not just wishing for his presence, she's searching for his story. The brilliance of this trailer moment is how it bridges to generations of Heartland. Amy once lost her mother at a young age, and now her daughter is growing up without her father. History has repeated itself in the most emotional way, and this time, Amy has to guide Lyndy through something she herself barely survived. It's poetic, heartbreaking, and full of meaning. The line "I wish I could see him" echoes the same pain young Amy once felt when she wished for her mom. Now the roles have reversed. Amy must become the strength she once needed. If we look closely at the scene's details, every choice feels intentional. The old barn in the background, the color of the light, the gentle music, all designed to connect viewers to the past. Even the way the horse in the background softly neighs as Lyndy speaks feels symbolic, like Ty's spirit is still part of that land. Heartland has always used its setting to reflect its emotions. And here, the ranch becomes more than a backdrop. It becomes a living memory. Every fence, every field, every piece of wood on that barn carries the story of Ty and Amy's life together. For fans who've followed Heartland since the early seasons, this trailer is a reminder that grief doesn't just disappear, it changes shape. And through Lyndy, we see how that grief becomes love again. Amy might not have the words yet, but her presence, her patience, and her quiet strength will show Lyndy what it means to love someone who's no longer here. This isn't just a storyline, it's the emotional heart of the show coming back to life. Season 19 isn't just continuing the journey, it's honoring where it all began. So when Lyndy says she wants Ty, she's not just speaking as a daughter, she's speaking for all of us. Every fan who's ever rewatched old episodes, every moment that still hurts when we see Ty's face in flashbacks, every time we wish things could have gone differently. Lyndy's longing is the voice of the audience. And through her, Heartland reminds us that love doesn't end with loss. It stays, it grows, and it shapes every new story that follows. Asterisk, when the trailer fades from Lyndy's heartbreaking words. The next few shots quietly shift the focus to Amy. Her face tells a story long before she speaks. There's something different about her this time, not the confident horse whisperer we've come to know, but a woman who looks like she's holding her breath through memory she thought she'd buried. The Heartland Season 19, Episode 1 trailer captures this perfectly. You can see it in her eyes as she walks through the ranch, touching Ty's old tools still hanging in the barn, brushing her hand over his saddle, and pausing as if she can still feel him beside her. The silence between each shot says everything. Amy Fleming is about to face the past again, not by choice, but because her daughter has brought it back to life. The moment Lyndy says she wants Ty, Amy's world cracks open just a little. For years, she's kept herself strong, telling herself that time and work and love for her daughter would be enough to fill the emptiness Ty left behind. And in many ways it has. She's built a routine, rebuilt her sense of purpose, and learned to smile again. But in this trailer, that calm exterior begins to tremble. When your child looks up and asks for the one person you've spent years trying to live without, it's like reopening a wound that never fully healed. The trailer shows this without a single word. Amy just stops for a moment, looking out at the fields, her hand tightening around the photo frame. There's pain in her silence, but also something else: resolve. She knows she can't keep hiding the past. Any more fans have noticed that the trailer's editing style mirrors Amy's emotional journey. The cuts between her and Lyndy aren't random. They're almost like memories flashing through Amy's mind. We see brief glimpses: Ty teaching Lyndy how to ride when she was little, Amy laughing as Ty fixed the fence. And then the present day, Amy standing in that same spot, now alone. The lighting even changes between these moments, warm and bright during memories, softer and faded in the present. It's a visual way of saying, the past is gone. But it still colors everything she does. There's also a powerful symbolism in the horses that peer around Amy. Heartland has always used horses as emotional mirrors. They react to the character's feelings. In one brief trailer shot, we see Amy trying to calm a nervous horse that refuses to move forward. She whispers gently, "It's okay. We'll take it one step at a time." At first glance, it's just Amy being Amy, the horse whisperer, patient and kind. But in context, it's much deeper. She's talking to herself without realizing it. She's reminding herself to move forward, one step at a time, even when it hurts. Then there's the moment that caught every fan's attention. Amy sitting by the lake where she and Ty once spent quiet evenings talking about their dreams. The same lake that has appeared in multiple emotional episodes before. The trailer shows Amy sitting there with Lyndy, her daughter holding a stone in her hand, ready to skip it across the water. Amy smiles softly, but doesn't say much. The stillness of the scene feels heavy, almost sacred. It's like Amy brought Lyndy there, not just for a quiet moment, but to introduce her to the place where Ty's spirit feels closest. Fans believe this could be a big turning point in the episode, the moment Amy decides to start sharing more of Ty's story with Lyndy. Piece by piece. For so long, Amy's way of coping was silence. She healed others, horses, riders, family, but she rarely let herself heal completely. That's what makes this trailer feel so powerful. It hints that season 19 won't just be about Amy moving forward, but about her finally looking back. Lyndy's question, her wanting Ty, is forcing Amy to reopen the chapters she closed too quickly. The shot of Amy flipping through an old photo album confirms that. We see her fingers linger over a picture of Ty holding baby Lyndy, his eyes full of pride. The camera zooms in on Amy's face, and you can almost feel the ache behind her smile. It's not just grief, it's gratitude. Gratitude for the love they shared and the life they built. Even if it ended too soon, there's a brief but powerful line from Jack in the trailer that seems to guide Amy's emotional path this season. He says, "You can't protect her from missing him, Amy. You can only help her understand him." It's classic Jack, wise, gentle, and deeply true. That line is the emotional anchor of this section of the trailer. It's the moment Amy realizes she doesn't need to shield Lyndy from Ty's memory. She needs to let her grow up with it. That realization changes everything. It turns Amy's pain into purpose. We then see a shot of Amy leading Lyndy to the stable. She kneels down beside her daughter and shows her Ty's old saddle. "This was his," she says softly, "and he loved every horse that came through this barn." It's a quiet line, but it carries weight. For years, that saddle has been more than a tool. It's been a symbol of love, partnership, and legacy. In that moment, Amy isn't just talking about horses. She's teaching Lyndy who her father was through the things he loved. And the emotion in her voice, that mix of strength and sadness, shows that. Amy has finally found a way to keep Ty alive in their world. Not through mourning, but through stories and connection. The trailer's soundtrack adds another layer to Amy's emotional journey. The soft piano that plays underneath her scenes has a rhythm that feels familiar to longtime fans. It's almost like an echo of the music used during her and Ty's most intimate moments. It's subtle but intentional, a way for the creators to remind us that Ty's presence still lingers, especially in the parts of Amy's life where she finds peace. It's not a haunting melody. It's a comforting one. It suggests that remembering Ty doesn't have to hurt anymore. It can bring warmth instead. One of the most powerful transitions in the trailer comes when Amy finally looks at herself in the mirror. It's a short clip, but it feels monumental. Her reflection shows the woman she's become, older, wiser, but still carrying that quiet ache. She stares at herself for a long moment before whispering something we can barely hear. Possibly he'd be proud. That one line, if that's what she says, would be enough to bring any fan to tears. Because deep down, we all know that's what Amy has needed to hear and believe for years. Another shot shows Amy walking into the field where Ty's memorial tree stands. The tree has grown taller since we last saw it, its branches fuller, leaves bright against the sunlight. Amy places a hand on the trunk and smiles softly. No tears, no breakdowns, just peace. It's a small but powerful sign of healing. She's not visiting the past to relive the pain anymore. She's visiting it to remember the love. It's as if the show is telling us that grief can grow into something beautiful. if you'd let it. The emotional contrast between Amy's silence and Lyndy's innocence is what gives this trailer its strength. Lyndy's questions are simple, pure, and full of curiosity. Amy's answers are heavy with meaning, shaped by everything she's lived through. It's that balance between loss and life, between remembering and moving forward, that makes Heartland so deeply human. The trailer captures that beautifully, showing us that Amy's story this season will be about opening up her heart again, not just for Lyndy, but for herself. There's also speculation among fans that the episode might include a letter or a message from Ty, something Amy finds while going through old things. It might not be confirmed yet, but the trailer includes a shot of her unfolding an old note with faded handwriting. Her expression is unreadable, but it's clear it means something deeply personal. Whether it's Ty's words or a memento he left behind, it's enough to stir emotions that Amy has long kept buried. It might even serve as a way for her to finally say goodbye properly. And this is where the true brilliance of the trailer lies. It doesn't just show grief, it shows growth. Amy isn't breaking down. She's breaking open. She's learning that remembering Ty doesn't mean she's stuck in the past. It means she's keeping his love alive in new ways. Through Lyndy, through the horses, through the land they built their lives on. Every frame of this trailer seems to whisper one message. Love doesn't end when life does. By the time the trailer nears its end, Amy's expression has shifted completely. She's no longer haunted. She looks calm, ready, grounded. It's as if she's finally accepted that Ty's spirit isn't gone. It's part of everything around her. The ranch, the horses, and especially Lyndy, they all carry pieces of him. And that realization gives Amy the strength she's been missing. The trailer closes with her voiceover saying something like, "Some bonds never break. They just find new ways to hold on." It's the perfect line to sum up Amy's emotional transformation. In Heartland Season 19, Episode 1, Amy isn't just revisiting old memories, she's learning to live with them, to share them, and to let them heal her family. And through that, she's teaching Lyndy and us the most powerful lesson of all. You don't stop loving someone just because they're gone. You keep them with you. In every story you tell, every horse you help, in every moment you choose to keep going. Asterisk the moment the trailer shifts from Amy's emotional reflection to the wider view of the ranch. Something changes in the air. The tone softens, and the music grows richer, like a gentle memory returning to life. It's as if Heartland itself, the land, the horses, the wind, begins to breathe again. The camera pans over the rolling fields, and there's this faint golden hue that fans instantly recognize. The kind of light that always surrounded Ty in his most heartfelt scenes. It's quiet, simple, and powerful. You can feel that his spirit never really left. And that's when the realization hits. Ty Borden's presence still lives through everything and everyone he loved. The trailer doesn't need to show him for us to feel him. It's in the way Amy looks out across the field, the way the horses respond to her calm voice, and most importantly, in the way Lyndy moves. She runs across the yard barefoot, her laughter echoing against the barn. And there's something unmistakable in her energy, something that reminds fans of a young Ty. The resemblance isn't just physical, it's in her spirit. Lyndy approaches horses with the same fearless heart her father had. The trailer shows her placing her hand on the muzzle of a restless horse, and in that moment, the horse settles, just like it used to with Ty. The music fades, and Amy watches with tears glistening in her eyes. For her, and for every viewer watching, it's clear Ty's legacy is alive in Lyndy. This connection between Lyndy and Ty is the emotional heartbeat of the trailer. The show has always been about the healing power of love and animals. But now it's evolved into something deeper, a legacy story. Heartland is showing us that Ty's influence didn't end with his death. It's transformed into the lessons and love that shape Amy and Lyndy's lives. Every gesture, every smile, every quiet moment feels like a message from Ty himself. And in Season 19, that message seems to be, you don't lose love, you carry it forward. One of the most striking moments in the trailer comes when Lyndy is riding Spartan. The scene mirrors one from earlier seasons where Ty watched Amy ride for the first time, filled with admiration. This time, it's Amy watching Lyndy, the circle complete. The camera focuses on Lyndy's determination, her calm hands, and her connection with the horse. It's like she instinctively knows what to do. Fans notice that as she rides, there's a soft breeze that brushes through her hair, and Amy smiles, whispering, "You've got his heart." It's a line that perfectly ties the past to the present. Ty's heart may have stopped beating years ago. His spirit continues to guide his daughter. There's also a subtle shot of a white horse in the trailer that fans believe carries deep symbolism. The horse appears alone near the edge of the property, standing where Ty once trained wild horses. Its mane catches the sunlight, and the scene cuts to Amy looking toward it, almost sensing something familiar. Longtime viewers know that Heartland often uses horses as symbols of memory and connection. This white horse could easily represent Ty's spirit, calm, protective, and ever-present. Amy doesn't say a word, but her expression says it all. She feels him. It's the same quiet understanding she had in the past when she felt her mother's presence. Heartland is continuing that emotional thread. Love doesn't disappear. It changes form. Another emotional layer the trailer captures beautifully is how the ranch itself seems to embody Ty's energy. The barn doors creak open to reveal his old workspace, and everything looks just the same. His tools are neatly arranged, his old jacket still hanging on a hook. Amy steps inside, and the lighting shifts. It's brighter, warmer, as if the memory of Ty lights the space. Fans know that the barn has always been more than a building. It's where Ty found purpose, where Amy and Ty built their life together, and where countless stories of healing began. Seeing Amy and Lyndy in that same space now is like watching the continuation of a legacy that never really ended. The trailer includes a soft voiceover. Amy's voice saying, "He taught me to listen, even when there were no words." That line hits hard because it reflects how Ty communicated not just with horses, but with people. His strength was never loud. It was gentle, steady, and kind. And now Amy is teaching Lyndy the same lesson. The trailer cuts to a scene of Amy showing Lyndy how to calm a frightened foal, her voice soft and sure. Lyndy listens closely, her movements careful. In that tender moment, it's as if Ty is standing right beside them, guiding them both. Heartland has always been about connection between people, between generations, between humans and animals. But Season 19's trailer shows that this theme is evolving. It's no longer just about healing after loss. It's about carrying forward the spirit of those we've lost. Ty's legacy isn't frozen in grief. It's alive in every lesson Amy teaches Lyndy. It's in the way Jack speaks about him, the way Tim's face softens when he mentions his name. Even the horses seem to remember. The entire ranch feels like it's breathing Ty's memory. Not in sadness, but in gratitude. One particularly emotional sequence in the trailer shows Lyndy sitting on the fence, staring into the horizon. The sunlight fades into evening, and she quietly says, "Mom, do you think he can see us?" Amy's eyes fill with tears, but she smiles and replies, "I think he never stopped watching." That line is classic Heartland, simple but overflowing with love. It reminds viewers that this show has always been about unseen bonds. You don't have to see someone to feel them near you. The way Amy says it tells us that she's finally found peace. She's no longer haunted by Ty's absence. She's comforted by his presence and everything around her. The trailer also gives us glimpses of how other characters continue to honor Ty's memory. Jack is seen repairing the old fence that Ty once helped him build. Tim, surprisingly, is softer this season. There's a shot of him teaching Lyndy how to saddle a horse, smiling when she gets it right. These small gestures show how deeply Ty influenced everyone at Heartland. He didn't just leave memories. He left pieces of himself in their actions, their routines, and their values. That's what legacy truly means, living through others in the way they love and give. And then there's a moment that could easily be one of the most talked about scenes from the trailer, Amy dreaming. We see her lying in bed, the night quiet except for the soft sound of the wind outside. The camera slowly zooms in as she stirs, and faintly, we hear a familiar voice, Ty's voice, whispering something comforting, though the words are unclear. It's subtle, almost like an echo. Amy opens her eyes, and there's that same golden morning light spilling across the room. She looks peaceful, even smiling slightly. Whether it's a dream, a memory, or something spiritual, it's clear that Ty's spirit is reaching out in some way. Not to haunt, but to remind her she's not alone. Fans have been debating this moment intensely. Some believe it's a flashback scene, while others think it's a new kind of emotional storytelling, a way to show how Ty's essence continues to guide Amy's choices. It's the kind of creative decision that perfectly fits Heartland's tone. Emotional, but grounded. Heartfelt, but realistic. Even without Graham Wardle physically appearing, the presence of Ty is woven through the story. That's what makes this trailer so moving. It's not about replacing Ty or erasing him. It's about honoring his impact and letting his legacy inspire the future. The trailer's pacing toward the end of this sequence begins to quicken. We see a montage, Lyndy helping a new foal stand for the first time. Amy riding through the fields at sunrise, Jack smiling proudly, and the entire Heartland ranch bathed in golden light. Over this, Amy's voice is heard again, saying, "He taught us what it means to love without fear, to fight for what matters, and to never stop believing in second chances." The words feel like a message directly from Ty to his family, a reminder that even though he's gone, his lessons remain carved into their hearts. Heartland has always had a gift for turning grief into growth. In this season, it seems they're taking that one step further. They're turning loss into legacy. Ty's spirit doesn't just linger, it leads. It's what helps Amy teach, what gives Lyndy her confidence, and what binds the entire family together. And that's what makes this trailer resonate so deeply. It's not a story about sadness anymore, it's a story about continuation. About how love evolves and how memory becomes strength. By the final seconds of the trailer, the camera returns to a familiar shot, the sunset over Heartland. Amy and Lyndy stand side by side, holding hands, the wind gently brushing against them. The horses graze nearby, and for a moment the golden light flickers, almost like a subtle visual nod to Ty's presence. You can almost imagine him there, watching them, smiling with quiet pride. It's poetic, emotional, and absolutely Heartland. When the screen fades to black, there's one final line, Amy's voiceover saying, "He's part of every heartbeat here." It's a line that perfectly captures what Season 19 is shaping up to be. A celebration of love that outlasts time. A family that holds on to one another, and of a spirit that refuses to fade. Ty Borden may be gone, but in Heartland Season 19, his story is far from over. His legacy lives through Amy, through Lyndy, through every sunrise over the ranch. And for fans who have loved this show from the start, that's the greatest gift of all. The reminder that even in loss, love always finds a way to return home. Asterisk, the Heartland Season 19, Episode 1. Trailer doesn't just belong to Amy and Lyndy. It belongs to the entire Heartland family. To every person who has carried Ty's memory in their own quiet way. While the earlier moments focus on Amy's emotional struggle and Lyndy's innocent longing, this part of the trailer pulls back to show us how the family around them reacts. And it's here that the show reminds us why Heartland has always been more than a story about horses. It's a story about generations of love, loss, and resilience. The trailer opens on Jack, sitting on the porch in the early morning light, his hat resting on his knee. There's a mug of coffee in his hand, and that familiar look in his eyes, a mix of pride and pain. He's watching Amy and Lyndy in the distance, working together in the paddock. The camera stays on him for several seconds, long enough for us to feel the weight of his thoughts. You can almost hear what he's thinking without him saying a word. Ty wasn't just Amy's husband, he was like a son to Jack, and watching Amy teach Lyndy the same lessons Ty once learned from him feels like a circle quietly closing. Jack's expression softens, a faint smile appearing. You can tell he's proud, but underneath that pride is a quiet sadness. He's seen this family through loss before, and he knows that healing never really ends, it just changes shape. Jack's role in the trailer is subtle, but deeply emotional. He doesn't speak much, but when he does, his words carry the kind of wisdom only he can deliver. In one quick clip, Amy sits beside him on the porch, The lighting is warm, the wind gentle, and she looks more vulnerable than we've seen her in a long time. She says softly, "Lindy's been asking a lot about him." Jack looks at her, thoughtful, and replies, "That's a good thing, Amy. Means she's ready to know who he was. Maybe you are too." It's a quiet line, but it lands with power. Jack has always been Amy's compass, the voice that guides her back when she starts to drift. And in that moment, he's not just comforting her, he's pushing her toward growth. It's a father reminding his daughter that facing the past doesn't make you weak, it makes you whole. We then see another touching moment, Jack in the barn, working on the same bench where Ty once stood beside him. The trailer lingers on his hands as he runs them over the old wood, the sound of tools faint in the background. There's a photograph of Ty nearby, slightly worn at the edges. Jack glances at it briefly, and though he doesn't speak, his silence says everything. You can almost imagine him thinking about all those days Ty spent learning, laughing, becoming part of the family. Then he looks toward the door where Lyndy appears, holding a small hammer. "Can I help, Grandpa Jack?" she asks. He smiles, that deep, warm Jack Bartlett smile, and nods. "Sure can, kiddo." That single exchange captures so much of what Heartland is about: legacy, mentorship, and love that never fades. It's as if Ty's place beside Jack has now been taken by Lyndy, and the generational bond continues. Then comes Tim. His scenes in the trailer carry a different kind of energy. Raw, emotional, and full of quiet regret. Tim has never been the easiest character to love, but he's always been one of the most complex. His relationship with Ty was rough in the beginning, but over time they built something real. Respect, even love. The trailer shows Tim alone in the stable, brushing one of the horses. He's focused, almost lost in thought. When Lou walks in and says she's been asking about Ty again, he pauses, his jaw tightening. "She should," he says after a beat. "He was the best of us." That line hits like a punch. For Tim, a man who's spent most of his life struggling to express emotion, those few words mean everything. It's his way of admitting what he's never said aloud, that Ty changed him. In another scene, Tim is outside repairing a section of fence with Jack. The two men work side by side, their movements synchronized, comfortable. There's a sense of peace between them now. No tension, no arguing, just shared understanding. Jack says quietly, "She's a lot like him, you know?" Tim looks up, confused. "Who?" Jack smiles Lyndy. Tim chuckles under his breath. "Yeah," he says, "stubborn, kind, always trying to fix everyone else." It's a short exchange, but it reveals so much. These two men, once at odds, now share a bond through the people they've lost and the family they've kept together. The trailer uses this moment to show that healing doesn't just belong to Amy, it belongs to the whole family. Tim's most emotional moment comes later in the trailer. In a scene that fans have already been replaying, he's riding alone across the pasture at dusk, the sky burning orange and gold. The camera follows him from behind, showing the wide open land stretching endlessly ahead. There's no dialogue, just music, a slow, soulful guitar piece that sounds almost like a memory. As Tim rides, his face softens, and you can tell he's thinking about Ty. Maybe he's remembering the man who helped him become a better father. Or maybe he's wishing he'd said thank you more often. When he stops at the edge of the ridge and looks out over the ranch, he takes off his hat and bows his head slightly. It's a silent tribute, one that speaks louder than words ever could. And then there's Lou. Her presence in the trailer brings different kind of strength, not the rugged, quiet strength of Jack, or the stubborn resilience of Tim, but the steady, emotional strength of someone who has learned to hold everyone together. Lou's scenes are soft, full of heart. She's the glue in the family, the one who makes sure everyone keeps going even when they don't know how. In the trailer, we see her in the kitchen, helping Lyndy bake cookies. The little girl asks Auntie Lou, "Did my dad like these?" Lou pauses for a second, then smiles warmly. He loved them, but he always burned the first batch. Lyndy giggles, and Lou laughs too. But as the camera lingers, you can see the tears in her eyes. It's such a Heartland moment, laughter and heartbreak, living side by side. Lou's storyline in this trailer feels like it will focus on memory and family connection. She's seen what loss does, not just to Amy, but to the entire ranch. There's a scene where Lou walks outside and finds Amy standing near Ty's memorial tree. She doesn't say anything at first, just walks up beside her and takes her hand. Amy doesn't look away from the tree, but her expression softens. Lou whispers, "He'd be so proud of you." It's a simple line, but it's exactly what Amy needs to hear. That's Lou's gift. Knowing when to speak and when to simply stand beside someone. Another quiet but touching shot. Shows Lou helping Jack set the dinner table as the family gathers. She looks around the room. Amy, Lyndy, Tim, and there's a sense of peace in her smile. "Feels like he's still here, doesn't it?" she says softly. Jack nods. He is. It's a beautiful scene because it shows how the family doesn't mourn Ty anymore. They celebrate him. Every dinner, every laugh, every story told at that table keeps him close. The family dinner scene is one of the emotional highlights of the trailer. It's evening, the ranch lights glowing softly through the windows. Everyone is seated, Amy, Jack, Tim, Lou, and Lyndy, and there's this quiet happiness that fills the room. Lyndy starts talking about her day with the horses, and she says, "I think Daddy helped me today." Everyone freezes for a moment. Amy looks down, Jack takes a slow breath, and Lou smiles with tears in her eyes. Instead of sadness, the moment brings warmth. Jack raises his glass slightly and says, "Then here's to him, to Ty, and to the family he built." As the trailer fades out on that toast, leaving fans with tears and hope in equal measure. What's powerful about this section of the trailer is that it doesn't just show individual reactions. It shows how grief connects them all. Each person processes Ty's absence differently, but they all find strength in one another. Jack mentors, Tim protects, Lou nurtures, Amy leads, and Lyndy inspires. Together, they form the living embodiment of Ty's legacy. A family that stays strong no matter what life takes away. And it's not all heavy emotion. The trailer knows when to breathe. There are lighter moments too. Jack teaching Lyndy how to whistle for the horses. Tim accidentally spilling feed and laughing. Lou organizing a family photo that doesn't quite go as planned. These snippets remind us that Heartland has always balanced pain with warmth, loss with laughter. Even in moments of sadness, life at the ranch keeps moving. The seasons keep changing. And love keeps growing. By the end of this section, the trailer brings the family together one last time. The camera pulls back to show them standing outside the barn as the sun sets behind them. The golden light wraps around them like a gentle embrace. And for a split second, a shadow moves across the field, a horse galloping in the distance, free and wild. The symbolism isn't hard to catch. That horse, running into the horizon, feels like Ty, his spirit, his strength, his freedom. The family watches quietly and Amy whispers, "He's home." It's the perfect emotional close to this part of the trailer. A visual reminder that no matter how much time passes, Ty's presence will always be a part of Heartland. Through Jack's wisdom, Tim's courage, Lou's compassion, and Amy's love. His spirit continues to guide the people in the place he called home. The trailer captures that essence beautifully, not by showing us loss, but by showing us life after loss. And the family who keeps love alive through every generation, asterisk. As the trailer for Heartland Season 19 Episode 1 fades out, one thing becomes clear. This season isn't just about looking back at Ty's memory. It's about moving forward with his legacy. Every scene, every glance. Every bit of dialogue in the trailer seems to hint at something deeper coming for the Bartlett-Fleming family. The energy is different this time. More emotional, yes, but also more purposeful. Heartland has always been about healing, love, and second chances. But Season 19 feels like a chapter where those ideas finally collide. The future of Heartland Ranch is no longer just in Amy's hands. It's in Lyndy's heart. The biggest question this trailer leaves fans asking is, what happens next? We've seen Amy finally begin to open the door she's kept shut since Ty's death. We've seen Lyndy step into a new level of emotional understanding. Yearning for a father she never knew but somehow feels connected to, and we've seen the rest of the family come together in quiet, powerful ways. But Heartland has never been a show that lingers too long in one emotion. It moves forward like the seasons on the ranch. So, what does that forward motion look like for each of these characters? The trailer gives us clues, small moments that suggest huge developments waiting to unfold. Let's start with Amy. Throughout the trailer, her presence feels renewed. There's a certain strength in her eyes we haven't seen for a while. Not the strength that comes from surviving loss, but the strength that comes from finding peace. She's rediscovering her purpose. In one blink and you'll miss that shot, we see her standing beside a new horse, one that looks nothing like Spartan or any of the familiar horses we've seen before. It's restless, wild, and untamed. Amy reaches out to it, and instead of backing away, it moves closer. The symbolism is unmistakable. This horse represents Amy's next chapter, the untamed future she's ready to face. And it may very well tie into one of the biggest arcs of the season, Amy opening her heart again. There's been speculation for a while now about whether Amy will ever find love again. The trailer doesn't give away too much, but there's a quick, intriguing shot of her talking to a new face, a man standing by a pickup truck, smiling faintly. We don't hear his name or see much of his face, but the scene is framed just like Amy's early scenes with Ty. That same hesitant warmth, that same cautious spark. It's enough to make fans wonder, is this someone who will help her move forward, or is he just a reminder of what she once had? Heartland rarely introduces characters without meaning, so whoever this man is, his presence could be a major turning point in Amy's emotional journey. But the trailer also makes it clear, Amy's story this season isn't about replacing Ty. It's about honoring him in a new way. There's a scene of Amy and Lyndy together under a blanket of stars. Lyndy says, "Do you think Daddy can see us?" Amy smiles softly. I think he never stopped. That single line feels like a statement for the entire season. Ty isn't gone. His influence is everywhere. Through the horses, Amy helps. Through the lessons she teaches Lyndy. Through the values that keep Heartland running. Season 19 will likely show Amy not just surviving, but thriving, using her pain as her greatest strength, and then theirs. Lyndy. The trailer makes it clear that she's stepping into the emotional core of Heartland. We've watched her grow from a baby into a bright, curious little girl, but now she's becoming a young soul with her own voice, her own instincts, and her own connection to the world around her. The scene of her talking about Ty isn't just about grief, it's about identity. She wants to understand who her father was, but more importantly, she's beginning to realize how much of him lives inside her. One of the most telling moments in the trailer comes when Lyndy is seen whispering to Spartan, Amy's horse. "Mom says Daddy loved you," she tells him softly, and Spartan lowers his head as if he understands. Then Lyndy says, "Do you think he'd be proud of me?" It's a heartbreaking line, but it also marks a moment of awakening. For the first time, Lyndy isn't just a background presence, she's a reflection of everything Ty and Amy built together. Her love for horses, her empathy, her quiet strength, they're all echoes of the man she never met. Season 19 could easily shift some focus toward her journey, learning, growing, and perhaps beginning to carry on the Heartland tradition in her own way. The trailer also teases potential challenges ahead. We catch glimpses of tension around the ranch loo, talking with a group of investors. Jack staring at a stack of bills, and Tim arguing with someone over the phone. These small flashes suggest that financial or land troubles might once again threaten Heartland Ranch. But if there's one thing we know about this family, it's that they stand their ground when their home is at stake. Lou's leadership as mayor and ranch owner will likely be tested again. And her scenes in the trailer show her in both business attire and ranch clothes, balancing two worlds, just like she's always done. One particular shot that fans are already analyzing shows Lou sitting in her office, looking at an old photo of Ty, Amy, and Lyndy. She places it in her drawer and takes out a new one, a picture of the whole family at the ranch, taken recently. The message is clear. The past matters, but so does the present. Lou's story this season may center around accepting change, letting go of guilt and making choices that secure the ranch's future for the next generation. Meanwhile, Jack's role continues to evolve too. We see him mentoring Lyndy more in the trailer. We also catch a glimpse of him looking tired, sitting alone in the barn late at night, holding an old photo of Marion, his daughter. It's a small emotional beat, but it hints that Jack's storyline this season might explore legacy and mortality. He's the heart of Heartland, the steady, guiding force, but even he knows time moves on. Maybe season 19 will see him preparing the family for a day when they'll have to lead without him. That doesn't mean we'll lose Jack, but it could mean we'll see him stepping back, letting others take the reins literally and figuratively. As for Tim, the trailer shows flashes of a complicated path ahead. He's seen training a young horse with intensity, riding through the fields like a man trying to outrun something. There's a moment where Jessica, his wife, says, "You can't fix everything by working harder." He doesn't reply, just looks down, a rare sign of vulnerability. Maybe this season will bring another internal struggle for Tim, one that forces him to confront his regrets and redefine his role in the family. And given how much Lyndy looks up to him, we might see Tim becoming a stronger, more stable grandfather figure this time around, trying to make up for the time he lost when his own kids were young. One surprising element the trailer hints at is new life in more ways than one. There's a quick shot of a mare giving birth, Amy and Lyndy watching in awe. It could symbolize a literal new beginning on the ranch, a foal that will become part of the family's next chapter. But it could also represent something larger, the rebirth of Heartland's spirit. After years of loss, heartbreak, and rebuilding, this season seems ready to embrace renewal, and the tone of the trailer makes that renewal feel powerful. The cinematography is brighter, the skies wider, the lights softer. The music shifts from somber piano to hopeful acoustic guitar by the end, symbolizing the family's emotional transition. When the trailer closes, it does so not with tears, but with peace. We see Amy, Lyndy, Jack, Tim, and Lou standing together by the fence, watching the sun rise over the hills. The light floods the ranch, and the camera pans slowly across their faces, each one filled with quiet hope. Then Amy whispers, "We're still here." That's the heartbeat of season 19 right there. We're still here. It's not about forgetting Ty or moving on. It's about carrying on. It's about the idea that love doesn't end. It just changes form. Ty may be gone, but his influence still guides every hand that holds the reins, every heart that keeps beating for the ranch, every child who dares to dream. If the trailer is any indication, Heartland Season 19 will deliver one of the most emotional, yet uplifting storylines the show has ever told. It will honor the past while boldly embracing the future. Fans will likely see old traditions continue, rodeos, rescues, community events, but through a new lens. Lyndy stepping into her mother's footsteps, Amy discovering new meaning in her work, Lou taking leadership to new heights, Tim learning peace, and Jack, the soul of the ranch, watching proudly as the next generation takes its place. The final seconds of the trailer bring everything full circle. We hear Lyndy's voice narrating, soft and filled with wonder. "Mom says Dad taught her to believe in forever. I think I know what that means now." As she speaks, we see her riding Spartan with Amy beside her, the two of them moving in perfect harmony across the open field. The camera rises into the sky, showing the ranch from above, bathed in golden light. It's a breathtaking image, a visual promise that Heartland will always endure, as long as love, courage, and family live within its fences. Season 19 isn't just another chapter. It's a renewal. It's the bridge between generations, a love letter to Ty's memory, and a testament to how the Bartlett-Fleming family continues to stand strong no matter what life brings. And for fans who've been watching since the beginning, this trailer feels like a beautiful message. The story of Heartland isn't ending, it's just beginning again.